This beautifully illustrated page shows a flashback to Zatanna's childhood as her mother reads her a story. The tale follows a young magician tumbling helplessly through the astral plane, unable to grasp anything solid, until a mysterious and stunning woman reaches out to save him. As he gazes at her in awe, she gives him a cryptic but crucial piece of advice. Next time you find yourself lost, just wish for oblivion, and oblivion shall find you. Before he can ask more, she vanishes. A violent storm rages as waves crash against a rocky shore, lightning illuminating a distant lighthouse. Z struggles in the turbulent waters, still impaled by the glowing sword that refuses to release its grip on her. Gasping for breath, she clutches it, her expression torn between pain and determination. Suddenly, a ghostly hand emerges from the depths, reaching toward her. An eerie, distant voice calls out her name. Inside the Oblivion Bar, Dan, Bobo, and Nimue lament how business has been dead, with Dan even reminiscing about cutting his own magic act. Nimue jokingly offers to bring in her divine study group to boost business, while Bobo cynically sips his drink, muttering about the bar's decline. Their conversation is interrupted by sudden loud bangs that echo through the bar, putting everyone on high alert. We see that Z teleported to their bar, sending debris flying as she lands hard on the floor. Dazed and struggling to catch her breath, she coughs and gasps, clearly exhausted and in pain. Z rests in bed as Dan, Bobo, and Nimue discuss the mystery surrounding Adam's disappearance and the strange, magical interference affecting her. Remember that Adam, her missing crewmate, is the one who stabbed Z in the back with the magical sword in the last issue. Bobo hands her a cup of tea, which she gratefully accepts while the others debate their next steps. As they plan to consult their library for answers, Z suddenly falls into a trance, her expression going blank. A ghostly blue hand emerges from her drink and grabs her by the neck, signaling something unnatural taking hold of her. Dan and Nimue call out to her, realizing something is very wrong. Z finds herself in a terrifying vision, surrounded by decayed, zombie-like figures of people she knows, like Wonder Woman, all accusing her of bringing death. One of them grips the glowing sword still embedded in her chest, reinforcing her connection to the dark forces at play. Snapping out of it, she hastily insists she's fine and tries to leave, but Dan and Nimue aren't convinced. Suddenly, Z teleports away from the location. Nimue decides to consult her tarot cards, suspecting that Z's insistence on handling things alone will only lead to more trouble. Z is violently teleported into Shadowcrest, crashing through the air as magical energy surges around her. Frustrated by her unstable magic, she attempts to cast a spell to remove the cursed sword still embedded in her chest. As she chants, eerie, ghostly hands reach out toward her, interfering with the spell and amplifying her pain. The backlash sends her reeling, gritting her teeth in determination. Despite the struggle, she knows the sword must be removed before it consumes her completely. Next, we see her carefully preparing a ritual, meticulously arranging symbols and ingredients within a large magical circle. She debates her choice of components, opting for a less volatile mixture to ensure stability. Satisfied with her setup, she adds an extra layer of protection before beginning the spell. As she chants, an overwhelming surge of red energy erupts, and ghostly hands reach out, dragging her into the chaos. She screams in agony as the ritual spirals out of control. The aftermath of her spell leaves Shadowcrest in disarray, with magical energy still crackling through the air. As the chaos settles, her alarm wakes her, revealing it's now morning and she has multiple unread messages. She lies exhausted amidst the wreckage, while a voicemail from her student Mikey expresses concern over her and Adam's absence. Slowly pushing herself up, she grips the still glowing sword and breathlessly utters Adam's name, her desperation growing. Lady White arrives at the Crimson Palace nightclub. Frustrated, she warns Adam not to waste time, making it clear she doesn't want to deal with Brother Knight's bad mood. Adam obediently follows, carrying her shopping bags as they descend into the fiery, ominous depths of the club. Inside, a massive crowd watches as Lady White confidently announces their return. The followers of the Crimson Palace cheer, welcoming them with reverence. She greets Brother Knight upon her return to the Crimson Palace, taking his hand as their followers cheer. Adam, looking tense, hesitantly asks if Brother Knight received what he requested. With a sinister grin, Brother Knight confirms that Adam has fulfilled his end of the deal, praising his actions as a remarkable performance. Pleased, he assures Adam that his promised reward is within reach. He then leads Adam away, inviting him to celebrate what his heart desires. Z arrives at Adam's apartment, hoping to find him and get answers. As she cautiously steps inside, she's met with a horrifying sight. Twisted, lifeless limbs filling the darkened space. Despite insisting she doesn't need help, Dan arrives, refusing to let her handle this alone. Acknowledging the danger posed by the cursed sword, she warns that until they figure it out, she can't risk anyone around her getting hurt. He reminds her of past moments when he relied on her, urging her to accept his support. Dan recalls a time when Z helped him through his struggles, using it as a reminder that he's here to return the favor. Z, still reluctant but appreciative, thanks him as they shift focus to the grotesque mess inside Adam's apartment. Meanwhile, Nimue prepares for a tarot reading, channeling her energy to seek guidance. Dan and Z battle their way through Adam's apartment, slashing through the grotesque mass of decaying flesh. Dan wields a fiery spear, tearing through the writhing mess while Z dodges sharp claw-like tendrils. Nimue's tarot reading narrates their struggle, warning of deeper entanglements and hidden dangers. Despite the overwhelming chaos, they push forward and finally reach the back door. Just as they burst through, Nimue's final card pull hints at a critical revelation yet to come. Dan and Z stare in shock at the horrifying sight before them. Nimue, deep in her tarot reading, places down the Ten of Swords, symbolizing betrayal and loss. As Z cautiously steps forward, she finds Adam's lifeless body tied to a chair, confirming her worst fears. Overwhelmed, she whispers his name, unable to look away from the grim reality. Meanwhile, Nimue, sensing the truth through her reading, softly murmurs an apology for Z's inevitable heartbreak. Z, devastated by Adam's death, struggles to process what has happened while Dan tries to keep her grounded. She recalls seeing Adam alive just yesterday, which doesn't match the signs of his body being dead for weeks, deepening the mystery. Determined to uncover the truth, she ignores Dan's caution and casts a spell to reveal Adam's killer. As the magic surges around her, the fiery sword stuck in her chest reappears, while ghastly blue hands forcefully begin to cover her body and face. The spell takes hold, preparing to transport her to the one responsible. Instead, her spell activates a television in the room, revealing footage of Lady White interacting with a mysterious man, giving them their first real lead. As Dan questions what they've uncovered, Z makes a sudden decision, refusing to let anyone else suffer because of her. She casts a powerful spell, summoning glowing chains that restrain Dan, preventing him from following her into danger. Despite his protests, she steels herself and steps toward the screen, ready to transport herself directly to Lady White's location. Before disappearing, she promises Dan she'll return. Z steps into what appears to be a memory or a moment frozen in the past, surrounded by a black and white ballroom scene. Dressed elegantly in a black dress and white shawl, she struggles to think clearly as the cursed sword continues to wear down her mind. As she moves through the crowded dance floor, she stumbles into a well-dressed man, momentarily caught off guard. He reassures her that there's no need to apologize, but Z, recognizing him, reacts with shock. She realizes the man before her is Bruce Wayne. Dressed in a sharp tuxedo, Bruce confidently holds her hand, smiling as if this is a familiar dance. Still reeling from the strange nature of her surroundings, Z can only manage to say his name in disbelief. Bruce, unfazed, greets her warmly with a smooth, "Hi, beautiful." The moment lingers as the mystery deepens around why he's here.